Greetings, this is Bill DeBevick from Read the Factory Manual, and I need to make some pipes for one of my fantastic, way cool Matchbox trucks. I think it's the number 10 pipe truck, little red thing. Anyway, I have a 3D printer, so I thought, what the heck, let's make some pipes. And then I was going to draw them up in AutoCAD, which is what I normally draw things in, but then I thought, hey, why don't I make a video and make it on Tinkercad, which is free. We'll show you how to do that from start to print. So here we go. Here is a quick drawing. This is what it looks like of the pipe. This is the dimensions that I figured out from using my calipers and things like that. So let's go ahead and start. We'll create a new design here in Tinkercad. Tinkercad is free. You just have to create an Autodesk account. To get there, creating an Autodesk account is free as well. One of the things I learned with Tinkercad is you want to set your grid level, your snap grid down here at the bottom. Set that to, I'm going to set mine to 1/4 millimeter, 0.25 millimeters, because I'm drawing in millimeters today because that's what I measure in, that's what I print in, that's what I've gotten used to using is millimeters. So we'll set that to 0.25 because my smallest unit in my drawing, you see here, is 0.5 millimeters. So setting it half of that, that allows me to move whatever I need to. Now the pipe is hollow on the inside, and the bottom also is hollow enough for the pipe to fit inside of itself. So that is drawn with a void, or we're going to draw a cylinder actually, but in a cylinder it has two types. You have a void cylinder or a cylinder, and you can convert them on the fly. A void cylinder subtracts this object from the other cylinder, so that's how you make holes with a void. So I'm just going to place that cylinder right there, and now I'm going to change its size. So that's going to be the bottom void, so that's 5.5 millimeters by 5.5 millimeters. Oops, gotta click this other one here. 5.5. And the height of this is going to be, we're going to say, about 5 millimeters high. So there's my first part right there. The other thing I like to do is I like to turn off orthogonal view instead, so that when I work on this thing, I can see not only in 3D, but it's not in what is called perspective mode, where things get smaller the further back they go. I find it easier to draw in this mode. I'll draw another cylinder. I'll place it about right there. And that one is going to be the large part of the flange of the pipes, and that's 6.5 millimeters by 6.5 millimeters. And it's tall by 5.5 millimeters. Okay, so now I need to place this in the center. So go to the top view. I'll go to the top view. And then I'll just drag that on to the center. Now to make this easier to see, I can make that what is called a hole or a void. And then I can move that thing around. I'm going to use the arrow keys to nudge that into place. There we go. It is nudged. I'll go back to my orthogonal view there, or isometric view is what it's called. And I want to draw another cylinder. And I want to put that cylinder right there. Now this cylinder, the whole thing is 53 millimeters high. So if it's 53 millimeters high, and I subtract 5.5 from it, I have 47.5. So that's how high this is going to be. 47.5. Oh, I got to click in there. 47.5. And its diameter is 5 millimeters. Come on, you can do it. There we go. 5. Fantastic. And now we'll go back to top view. And we'll move it into place. That looks good to me. And then we'll go to the front view. And I want to move it up. Now to move it up, you hold the control key down and the arrow up button. That's how you nudge it up. And that's a good way to move it up. All right, so now we got that. I need one more hole, but I'm going to make the whole thing a hole first. And let's get back to our isometric view right there. And we'll draw in another cylinder. And I want this cylinder to be 3 millimeters. Now what's nice about this one is I can make it as high as I want it to be because it's going to be the hole that's on the inside. So we'll go back to the top view, move it into place. Maybe we need to zoom in. I use the scroll wheel to zoom in. And we'll place it in place. We'll zoom in. I need to nudge it up one and maybe over. Yeah, that looks good to me. That looks centered. All right, now that one's going to be a hole. This one, let's get back to our isometric. It's easier to see which ones we're clicking on. That one right there, the outside of the flange, that's going to be a solid. This one's going to be a solid. So now I have my pipe drawn up. Now I'm ready to make an STL file out of my pipe. An STL file is the file we use to take into the 3D printer to print. So I've got my name there. If I want to rename this thing, I can rename it to Matchbox Pipe. So we will export this. Hit enter, export everything, STL, and there it goes. It has exported it. Now I am ready to start CURA. So we'll start CURA. And here is CURA. I want to bring in my Matchbox pipe. There's my downloads folder. So I'll just drag that into place right there. Now when I print, I like to print up towards the front and over to the side. I like to print small items about over the top of one of the springs will be, because I know that that is going to be in a nice level spot, and it's also going to be the right distance from the print nozzle. I use the standard profile. So since I'm printing in PETG, I'll click up here and I'll change my material to generic PETG. Why do I use PETG? Because it doesn't melt in the garage here in Las Vegas or in an automobile, or if I'm going to ship this pipe to somebody, I don't have to worry about it melting in the truck. The quality, I'm going to keep it at standard quality because there really isn't any detail to this thing. 50 millimeters a second is just fine. The printing temperature is 240, the build plate temperature of 80. I'm using a Creality Ender 3 Pro, and so with the Capcorn tubing, I'm able to print at that higher temperatures. The other thing that I do is in the material, we search here for retraction. I turned off retraction because I'm using a direct drive, and you'll see here's a photo of my printer. So I've moved the filament drive to the top of the head, and there'll be a link to this mod in the show notes. And this allows me to print PETG a lot better. So I'm going to turn off retraction because I don't need to do that with the one that I have. Now if you have the standard tube that comes with it, you may have to enable some retraction to get your print to come out nice. Alright, I want to slice it. And I use Octoprint set up on my printer as well, which is a great piece of software. So hit connect. That'll connect my printer. Yay, it's connected. I can minimize that now. And now I can print with Octoprint. CURA doesn't connect right away, so you got to close out of it and then print again. And now it's going to print with Octoprint. And then it shows you a nice image of the printer because I have a camera connected to it. So go ahead and we'll let it print. Our steps to get this done were we measured how large we wanted our pipe to be. We envisioned how it was going to be built, such as what it's going to look like when it's completed. We started in Tinkercad. We drew a bunch of cylinders, stacked them on top of each other, changed some cylinders from objects to holes or whatever it was called. And then we took it into CURA and we sliced it. And what slicing does is it converts it from a 3D model into layers so that the printer can then print it out. And then we sent the what is called G-code to the printer. G-code is the language that the printer understands. We sent that off to the printer to print, and there's our pipe. It took about 20 minutes to print out one pipe. So after a few hours, I had a bunch of pipes ready to go in my model. Next thing I need to do with my pipes is I'm going to take a look at sanding them down to get rid of the seams that are in it and the layer lines. Then I will go ahead and primer it and paint it the proper color. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and like. If you didn't, hit that dislike button twice. Leave me comments if you have any questions. If you have any ideas for other videos, leave them in the comments as well. I'll be happy to help.